Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 30 of Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, a hop to use up Pinterest pins that you have stuck on your Pinterest board and not used. And it was started by Crystal Barrett with Pineapple Papers. And this Melissa Laverty pin is like a back to school or a school picture. And it is so fun. And I loved all the layers. And so I have this picture of my family celebrating my brother's birthday party, or celebrating his birthday. And I decided I would use these Hello Today by Simple Stories. I only have these chipboard frames and these adhesive brads. So, and then the paper. And I got the paper at Tuesday morning, so I have 25 sheets of the same paper. And so I'm trying to find ways to use it. And while it is a July paper, I felt like the colors really worked with what was in the picture, and I liked the phrasing on some of these cut aparts. So I have these two sheets. One is they're the exact same paper, but it's the front and the back. So I've got my papers, I have my embellishments, I have this picture, and then I have this pin from my Pinterest board. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did was take my papers and cut the branding strip off. And normally I cut all of this part out, but this whole entire video without cutting or editing was 30 minutes long, like 28 minutes long. And so when I did the speed up version, it was already short enough for me to be comfortable to post it, but I still cut out some of the stuff that you just didn't need to see. So I cut the paper down to, I think I cut about 1/4 inch off the side and the top. So I'd have about 1/8 of an inch of a border. And I am going to mat that on a solid black cardstock. And then I got this ivory colored 8.5 by 11. And I just cut it down to about 8 1/4 or 8 by 7.5, because I wanted it to be big, but not too terribly big, because the picture I have is only a 4 by 6, and there's a good chance the picture in this video or in the Pinterest pin is like a 5 by 7. So I cut the off-white paper down, and then I'm going to trim it a little bit more because I want to make sure that it's going to fit inside the black 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I have right there. And I'm going to trim that down to, I think I leave that at 8.5 inches and cut it down at 8 inches. I think I cut it down even further than that though, because it was too wide and I didn't want a huge border around the off-white paper, and I didn't want it to take up too much of the background paper. And I moved my Creative Memories trimmer around because I normally cut the other direction, but I was trying to keep it on my desk while I worked with the trimmer, and I worked with the papers and layering and everything. So I am fussing with that corner because it's got like a little bend in it. So I ended up putting that on a different corner. Actually, I just realized I turned the whole thing sideways. I started out with this going vertical, and then I ended up with it going horizontal. Oh dear. Well, that's okay. So I mat the picture on a bit of that striped paper, and it is going vertical, which is the way that I had planned to do the background layout. I'm distracted. I'm helping my son name Pokemon this evening while I'm scrapbooking. So we're having family time. Although I think he's going to fall asleep. So I mat that on the striped paper, and then I mat it on the off-white paper, and then I'm going to make that off-white paper a little cockeyed on the black paper, and then I am going to put the whole thing a little cockeyed on this big 12 by 12. So it has 5 layers of paper, and so in the Pinterest pin, she's got some banners sticking out all around, and so instead of doing banners, I decided I would use these cut aparts. And so I used this one. I cut the little stripy part off because there's no point in wasting it and putting it behind there. And I put that wood grain down over to the right. And then I pull this one out that says documented, and I like that because it gives me a place to journal. But it's off-white, so it's going to disappear into my background paper. So I figure I could put it up against this striped paper here that's got the 1, 2, 3. And so I just trim it down a little bit and then adhere it to that card. So it gives it a little border, and there's no off-white on off-white. So I'm going to tuck that in behind the picture on the left side, giving it that banner concept. So I want to make sure that it's pretty even. So I'm going to end up moving the entire layout to the side so that I can put it down evenly. So I can use my mat the way you're supposed to use the mat. And you get the grid lines that are on that lovely thing, my Fiskars mat. So I'm going to get that tucked in. I want to make sure that the off-white or the little background paper is tucked in enough to where you can't see that it's not fully matted. And then I am going to tack that whole thing down on the background paper. And I'm really loving this. I think that it is super cute. I decided I want to use this Embrace Today as my title, just like she has Good Job in the top corner. I fussy cut it because I didn't want the full 3x, I think it's a 2x3 or 3x4. But I didn't want all that up there, but I don't mind covering some of that top corner. And so, of course, it's going to disappear into that background paper. So I pull that little striped scrap in the background, and I'm going to mat it on there. That way it stands out all the way around. So after I get that done, I'm going to fussy cut loosely around that, and then I'm going to tape it and put it down on that top left corner. And so the paper part is done, and now I'm going to clean up my mess and pull out the chipboard frames and these adhesive brads that I have. And I am really wanting to use this little wood grain frame, and there really isn't anywhere, if I was sticking with my pen, that I could put it other than right here. And it fits to where I could frame it, you know, the way I want, but then it covers the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the top. And I specifically put that in a way to where I'd be able to document the date and everything. And so I didn't want to do that. I kind of fiddled with it a little bit. I hem-hawed about, and then finally I just decided I was not going to use it. So then I pull out these flat back brads that are already adhesive on the back, and I put this red one down that says Live Out Loud, and then the one next to it says Yes, and then I put that puffy right there, and it says This Is Real Life. And then I just take some of those little circular small bits, and I do my cluster of 3 on the left and on the right, like it is in her sketch on Pinterest. And then I'm going to document on that journaling card, and really that is it. I'm going to be done with this layout. And like I said, it took me like 28 minutes to do the entire layout. Part of that was selecting some papers and background papers. Part of that was naming Pokemon and talking to our dog. And so I feel like this layout might have come together even quicker. So I just journaled the date. I circle the day of the week on the top and just write that we were celebrating my brother-in-law's birthday at Red Robin, where the burgers are great and the fries are endless, just like the fun we have together. And then I put my name at the bottom, which is what my family calls me. And that is it. So I am going to show you the close-up of the pen again. And I hope that you all will go below in the description box, and I hope that you will follow along with the Off the Board. It is over tomorrow, the 31st, and so I will have a layout share of all of the layouts I did for this. So I hope you'll come and see that. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you get a chance to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!